This is a 2026 Kia PV5, and you might be thinking, Dan, this is a car channel. Well, yes, but this is the passenger version of the PV5, available now with 5 seats and later with 7, and it is effectively a minivan. But you can also get this with a cargo variant with infinite possibilities of what you can do in the back. But the standout here is the price. This thing starts from just £33,000 here in the UK, which puts it around the same sort of money as an EV3, but obviously much larger. So if this is the sort of thing that you're interested in, you might be looking at the Volkswagen ID Buzz as well, and this is over £20,000 cheaper than that in some instances. So with Kia's latest tech and all of the best bits from their passenger cars, I think this represents a true bargain. So I'm going to show you around the vehicle today, give you a full tour and take it on the road for a spin. So in terms of specification and pricing for the PV5 then, in terms of the passenger option, it starts from around £33,000 for a standard range 51.5 kilowatt hour, and you can also get a 71.2 kilowatt hour. So the essential long range is 36,000. That's probably the one I'd recommend. This one is the Plus, so it has some extra features at 38,000, and there's also the options for heat pump and premium paint that you see on this one here. In terms of the standard battery, you get around 180 miles of range, and the long one is around 250 with 10 to 80% in around 30 minutes on 150 kilowatt plus DC chargers. The essential one comes with a large infotainment screen, 12.9 inch, and also Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the full ADAS suite that you get on all of the Kia passenger stuff, and lots of cool gimmicks around the vehicle. The Plus also gains these 16-inch alloy wheels and heated front seats with heated steering wheel, powered tailgate, and also vehicle to load support with wireless phone charging. And there's some additional safety tech as well with the ADAS, including advanced collision avoidance, but heat pump is still only an option, unfortunately. The 5 seats are standard, but 7 seats are expected later in some markets. And of course, there's the modular platform. You can go for cargo, crew, or chassis cab version too, but this is the only one available for private buyers. And like I said before, the main competitor for this really is the ID Buzz, but this coming in so much cheaper makes a massive difference. And I think in terms of the tech in here, this is probably going to be more on par with what a lot of people will want. So the passenger version payload is slightly less, but the cargo one varies by battery. So it's around 790 kilos for the standard battery and 690 for the long range. But yeah, let's take a little look around it then. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of this, and I really like the design actually. It's quite futuristic. You've got your your daytime running lights at the front, which really blend in, and it kind of reminds you of a lot of the passenger cars that Kia are putting out at the moment, stuff like the EV5, the EV9 and so on. Also this two-tone really helps on this passenger one, just makes it stand out a little bit more versus some of its other cars, and I guess it kind of reminiscent of the ID Buzz as well. And as we go around, you can see this is really big. To be fair, it's quite a large capacity vehicle, even in its passenger format. If we just go around to the back here and have a little look in the cargo area, you'll see, especially this one has the powered tailgate, which is really cool. On a van this size, it is obviously quite a large powered tailgate as it opens up there. And these can be customized for wheelchair access and that kind of thing as well. So it gives it a lot of versatility in the back, but we'll go into this section in just a moment. Stepping inside the PV5, this is where it gets really interesting because it takes a lot of cues from Kia's passenger cars and makes them work really well. So as you can see in here, we've got lots of infotainment screen, and we've still got some physical controls which make it really nice, and quite a plush interior. So we've got quite a lot of storage in the door card, as you would expect in a van, including a big deep pocket here and an electronic release for the doors, all your mirror controls on here, and then a nice handle to grab to step up into the van as well, because you've got a big side step. And then you've also got a little slot for accessories and electric controls for the seats in this one in particular, and pretty much the same controls you'd find in all of the other Kia products, including your normal gear selector and your start stop button, and the same steering wheel and paddle configuration, because this does support one pedal drive with the iPedal. So climbing up in the van then, you can see that we've got absolutely loads of space, as you would imagine. A really basic headliner, but that's what you'd expect, right? The only thing that's missing is physical climate controls. It's now integrated in the screen here, which does still work quite well. It looks a little bit more like the Volkswagen systems that you're used to from all the Volkswagen Audi group stuff, because this is now an Android based system. It works slightly differently to the other Kia stuff, and to be fair, it does work quite well, I've got to say, and it does allow you to do kind of multitasking and stuff like this, which is quite interesting, and it gives you the option to go into some extra additional apps and things like that. So it's quite cool the way it works, and you've got obviously Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and that kind of thing. And what they were telling me is that this will effectively allow you to install third-party apps at some stage, so things like Uber drivers and that kind of thing, like DoorDash, all that sort of stuff, you'll be able to get that on here as an app rather than having to use a phone mount, which is pretty cool. But there is, however, this accessory slot over here, which is designed specifically for a range of accessories that Kia are launching, including phone mounts and things like that. There's also a large storage area up here behind the screen, and this screen is kind of similar to in the Volkswagen stuff, which is pretty cool. Everything, of course, is well damped, being a Kia, and you get the nice Kia steering wheel with your drive mode select at the bottom. On the side, you've got your sort of ADAS stuff, and this controls a few bits on the screen. Not much customization there, but it does the trick and shows you what you need to know. And this button is your one-touch driver assist, which I praise on every Kia Hyundai product. Tap it once and it just automatically starts working, steering for you on the motorway, makes less fatiguing. And you've got a shortcut button over here. You press and hold this one to disable the speed limit warning. And the good thing about that is it will also keep that enabled for the traffic sign recognition. So you can have that muted, but still recognizes the speed limit, which is really nice. So yeah, it's a shame the physical climate controls have gone, but you do still have some other physical controls on down here, including your parking camera. And down here, you've got some 100-watt USB-C PD points and a little pop out for 180-watt power delivery. You've also got a large bay for your phone. There's a completely flat load floor, and you can have this pull-out drawer here, which is really handy. Again, lots of storage space, nice big glove box as well. Shame there's nothing really here, but it had to house the airbag, of course, so that is just one of those things. But the seats are pretty good, pretty plush for this sort of vehicle, and there is also a pull-down armrest, which can be kind of put wherever you like. It makes a nice driving position, actually. You can rest your elbow on there just nicely, and that folds up out the way. And then in the middle, we've got some grippy cup holders, place for your key, a large storage bin, slot there for your UK pin plug. So yeah, super cavernous, as you would imagine for a van or a passenger vehicle of this size. But I really do like the way they've integrated the infotainment and stuff, and the fact that it's got all of the best bits of the Kia passenger cars, including the paddles to control your regen. You can do that on the fly and put it down into iPedal mode for your one pedal drive. Works super well. And this new Android system, I haven't been told officially, but the speculation is this will eventually come to all Kia passenger cars as well. So the more they refine this now, the better. And then of course on this one we've got a big sliding rear door which opens up into an absolutely cavernous passenger area, as you can see. We do have some recline on the seats. On this one we've got 3 levels of heated seats as well, which is really cool. You've got Isofix in here, and it's kind of reinforced with this fabric, so it's not going to cause you too many problems. There's no middle armrest or anything like that, but you can get a 60-40 split here, which means that you get even more cargo area if you want it, which is absolutely amazing. And as you can see, a completely flat load floor back here as well, and another one of those accessory slots, so you could put like an iPad holder or a phone holder or something like that in there. And also you've got USB-C charging on the back of the seats, which means it's nice and convenient and out the way. Also a little phone pocket on the back of the seats there, and you'll be able to get even more additional accessories as well. So lots and lots of options, and of course this is just a standard 5-seat configuration, but there'll be loads that you can do with this. So stepping into the back of the PV5, I've had to move the camera right back to show you just how massive this thing really is. I can step in and pretty much stand up back here, as you can see, which is pretty nuts. And yeah, I mean, look at this for space, right? We've got lots of versatility when it comes to this rear bench as well. You can recline it really far back. I mean, look at this for recline. If you're a passenger back here, this is going to be great. And obviously, if you have the cargo variant, you can fill this space with whatever you please. There's even a little footrest area here as well, which makes such a difference with your rear passenger. And you'll be absolutely fine for 3 adults back here. I mean, there's just plenty of space. The headroom is astronomical, and as I say, legroom super easy. You've got ventilation down there for keeping you warm as well, so it makes such a difference. And then heading into the back, clever number plate from Kia on this one, and again this massive tail. As you get in here, you see the versatility of this, and obviously this is going to be one of those things, there's only applications for certain people, but there's going to be accessory rails which you can put in there. Kia are going to sell all sorts of different stuff. You can also take out the load cover and store that underneath this false floor here. So there's loads of different compartments. There's an underfloor bit there. There's an underfloor bit there with your charging cable. Under this one here, there's also another large stowing area, and there's a little bit of a ramp up so when you put the rear seats down, but it still means that you can put large items in there. It's just going to have a little bit of a ramp there, but the actual load lip back here is completely flat. And of course this can be adapted slightly anyway, so if you wanted like wheelchair access or something like that, that is totally plausible. Or if you have the cargo one, you could completely strip it out and do what you want. And of course in the 7-seat one, this area here will be taken up by that 3rd row eventually. But it just goes to show there's such a lot of versatility with a vehicle like this, and I think honestly the price point is where it's at. I think that's the real selling point here. for such a large vehicle with lots of practicality and all of the best bits of Kia's tech, I think it's going to be a bit of a winner for those individuals who need this level of space. So without further ado then, I'm going to close this up and I'm going to take this thing out on the road and see what it's actually like, because from what I've seen, this actually should hold its own when it comes to its rivals, even though it is so much cheaper. So then, out in the PV5, and what I will keep coming back to is that price. It's around the same sort of money starting prices as something like an EV5 or a Scenic, but look at everything you're getting for that. Like, the amount of space I've got in here is absolutely absurd. Obviously it's a very different vehicle, but what you have to consider is that this is pretty refined as far as vans or minivans go. The actual ride quality is pretty good. It can be crashy at times, of course, but on this sort of platform, this sort of size, you expect it to be. There's enough torque to get a decent shove off the line, but in this particular model, with the laminated glass and the refinement of the chassis and the suspension, it doesn't really feel much different than driving, say, like an EV9 or something like that. It's just a different shape. And the fact that you've got those creature comforts in here, like your one-touch driving assist feature, and you can quickly switch off the speed limiter warning and all that kind of thing, and this new Android-based operating system on here on the infotainment, it really does make a difference. It adds to the creature comforts in here, and it's such a versatile vehicle, whether you go for the passenger one with all of the passenger space or whether you go for a cargo and make it whatever you choose it to be. Performance for a van is not bad at all. It's brisk. It feels pretty agile. There's not like crazy amounts of body roll. It doesn't feel like you're piloting a massive bus down the road at all, and it does feel quite narrow as well, which on these little country lanes I've been going down means that I haven't really felt the size of the van at all. Steering texture is all right as well, and the fact that you've got all these regen braking modes that you can adjust on the paddles, always something I've appreciated out of the Kia range of cars, and the C that that's transporting into the kind of the more commercial side of things as well is really good. It just means that you've got that flexibility, especially when you're sitting in traffic. It does make all the difference. I like the fact that there are 3 modes of regen braking and also the iPedal mode. The iPedal mode means it does come to a complete stop, just like a Tesla would, for example, and that is fantastic for sitting in traffic. And of course, being sub 300 miles of range can be problematic if you're the sort of person who bashes up and down the country all the time. But if you're mainly doing round town trips, or you're able to stop off every now and then, it really isn't too much of a problem. And like I said, you're saving £20,000 over the ID Buzz in some variants. That's a massive stack of change. I mean, imagine the car you could get alongside it for that. There really is more than enough creature comforts in here to keep most people happy, and even the brakes, there's enough pedal feel for you to not really feel too concerned, and it doesn't feel like it's too weighty when it's coming to a stop either. And it is just nice having that electric torque shove as you pull out of a corner like this. It just drags you forward, and manoeuvrability really isn't bad as well, and this light steering really helps with that. They've really taken the best of their passenger car stuff and crammed it into here to make it worth having. And the fact that actually this is a really worthy rival to the Volkswagen, in fact possibly better in many instances, then the price saving is astronomical. So if you want something electric that's massive, versatile, and dare I say it's still a little bit of fun, then this really does tick a lot of the boxes, even in comparison to some family cars. But the fact that they've priced this similarly to one of their smaller SUVs means that for the sort of person who don't need the extra creature comforts, they just want something big, this is actually a genuinely viable option. And on the commercial side of things, it's a bit of a no-brainer if you're looking for electric, because it's just so well priced. So there we go, guys, the Kia PV5. As long as you're okay with the relatively average range, then this is a really compelling option at its price point compared to pretty much any other electric van rival. So thank you guys so much for watching. All likes, comments, subscriptions, really appreciated, and thanks to Kia for inviting me out to the UK launch of the EV5 and the PV5 today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.